What it do, people? It's your boy. It's the MMA guy. Today we're doing a UFC 320 Ankalaev versus Pereira 2 breakdown. We're just gonna be picking who we think are gonna win these matchups. And so, without further ado, let's go to the first matchup. First, the card opener is the women's flyweight bout. Veronica Hardy against Brogan Walker, man. Picking Veronica Hardy. She's good looking and she's minus 700. I would have thought she would have been like American with that name, but she's from Venezuela. Huh. Yeah, man. We're going to be looking very closely for Veronica Hardy. Might tune into this one. Ramiz Brahimaj versus Austin Vanderford, the second fight. I think that's a cool one because they're both winning UFC records. Ramiz Brahimaj has off 2 finishes. He finished, I think, Mickey Gall. And he finished as well a fight he was quite a big underdog in against Billy Goff. And Austin Vanderford beat the guy that's fighting above him, Nikolay Veretnikov, who's like a Kazakhstani striker. He has the OV, but he's not like a wrestler, and I think got out-wrestled. I feel like Ramiz Brahimaj has more finishing up potential, but I feel like Austin Vanderford might just wrestle him. And he looks to have a slight size advantage, I feel like. I feel like he's going to be a bigger frame a bit. I'd love to see a Brahimaj finish, and I think that if you give him the neck or anything, I think he's going to be very hard, but I don't know. He's been controlled by Court Mickey in 2022, which is outrageous. This is an outrageously bad loss. This is like Nico Price level loss in on your record, or like a Alex Morono level loss on your record. I'm gonna go Ramiz Brahimaj. I think Ramiz Brahimaj. Damn, I feel like I'm not picking him. I'm really not confident about this one. I feel like it's a bit of a pick him, but it's either Ramiz Brahimaj by finish or Austin Vanderford. Austin Vanderford, I know of him because he's like a bare knuckle fighter's girlfriend or something, boyfriend or something. Yeah. So we're going to pick... I think it's more than likely Austin Vanderford is going to wrestle him. Actually, screw this. I'm going Ramiz Brahimaj by a big, vicious finish, either a choker, KO. He has both. He just could get controlled and get 30-27 easily. But I feel like, he has the finishing potential. And I think this guy's finishable, so I'm going to pick him. Punaeli Soriano against Nikolay Veretnikov. I'm going to pick... What's the reach? Very good reach advantage. The thing is that Nikolay Veretnikov is quite hittable, but he's very hard to put out because he fought against Danny Barlow, who has hands. And big KO power. Well, fairly considerable KO power. And Punaeli Soriano has legit KO power. Coming off of, he's coming down from 85. Well, his last fight was a 70, but before that he was at 85. Which was a small 85er. But I think Nikolay Veretnikov is going to strike him. I think he's gonna be able to beat him by decision. He might get dropped in the first or something like that. But I'm going to pick Nikolay Veretnikov to beat him in a striking match. Yep, that's going to be the pick. Next, we have Patchy Mix, the return of the Bellator champion, Patchy Mix, man. And they're putting this guy against a UFC debutant, which is a bit of a layup. And I think he's going to destroy him. I think he's going to submit him in the first or second. I think this is going to be an easy fight for Patchy Mix. And if he loses this, don't cut him. But you're only fighting debutant from now on. Ain't no more of this. Like, I don't want to hear nothing about Bellator fighters if this guy loses against a debutant. But I think he's gonna win considerably. Macy Chiasson against Yana Santos. I'm gonna pick Macy Chiasson. She's longer and she's gonna pity batter. Daniel Santos against Jusong Yu. Okay, I know Daniel Santos. He's a fairly solid fighter. He's solid. He's slick. Jusong Yu is coming off a crazy KO against one of the worst level of competition in the UFC. A guy who lost to Anshul Jubilee. And Daniel Santos has legit UFC wins. I'm going to pick Daniel Santos to beat him. But I wouldn't be surprised. I just don't think Jusong Yu has given me anything where we haven't seen him tested in the UFC. And I feel like Daniel Santos is legit. It's kind of as if he's redoing his UFC debut. Now, he's going to have confidence in himself. But once he sees that Daniel Santos is able to eat a shot, something, I feel like that's going to be a point where he's going to be like, oh, shit. This might not be as cool. This might not be all sunshine and rainbow, Saying peaches and creamville, man. This is the UFC. And he's fighting a guy with a legit record. And he's going to have a 67-inch reach advantage and a 37-inch leg reach advantage as well. So, I'm going to pick Daniel Santos to beat Jusong Yu. Chris Gutierrez against Farid Basharat. I like Chris Gutierrez. I think he's very tricky. He has good kicks. They're weird and they keep people at bay. Even Song Yadong was unable to inflict damage on him. The thing is that he has nothing to offer on the ground. He's probably not going to get subbed or anything, but he just doesn't have a good defensive grappling. He just stays there. He just accepts position. He's going to let Farid Basharat impose his will on him. As long as he's not getting hurt or anything, he's just going to take it. I think Farid Basharat's going to win a decision in this one. But I like Chris Gutierrez in certain matchups. I think him against Davy Grant could be cool. Edmen Shabazian versus Andre Muniz. I'm going to pick Edmen Shabazian to beat the dog water out of Andre Muniz. I think Edmen Shabazian is a very, very talented fighter. He just has a gas tank issue. The thing is that Andre Muniz is coming off a first round stoppage against Aliskerov. This guy has been like Paul Craig has put this man. He's TKO'd this man on the ground where this guy's like, oh yeah, man, if you take him on the ground. Jiu-Jitsu, overrated. Especially, it's like his bottom game that's supposedly crazy. Because I think he has a couple of arm bars or something finishes. My thing is that Edmen Shabazian's going to be good on the feet. Andre Muniz has good striking. But it feels like he doesn't believe in his striking. And so he has good. I'm sure he has a huge reach. Yeah, he has a big reach. He just doesn't like. He just feels like a deer in headlight. Ooh, he should have been a striker. But he never learned that about himself. And so he's kind of like, he has these good striking looks, but he's just not. He just doesn't impose his will in that department. And Edmen Shabazian imposes his will. Good pacing. He just beat Petrosky. Coming off a loss now, so it's not that impressive. But I just feel like with confidence, Edmen Shabazian heading into this fight, this is an old Andre Muniz. I think he's going to be able to do it. It's just that this guy sometimes, like, he wasn't able to finish. Gerard Mearshart got finished late and stuff, but I don't know. Gerard Mearshart kind of has that effect on people. Andre Muniz it's kind of like a poor man's. Well, no, he's a way better striker than Gerard Mearshart. I just think Edmund's still going to be better on the feet and should be all right. If he paces himself well, I think he's going to cruise to a decision, but he could really, really well put him out. I see that happening as well. Next fight, Atiba Gauthier against Tristan Vines. Yo, this guy's a late replacement for Ozzy Diaz, I think the other guy was. Listen, imagine you get a call on a week's notice, and they're like, yo, listen, man, his opponent pulled out. We got a fight for you at 85. It's this guy who's Atiba Gauthier, who's been KOing people in the first round. Is Mini Ngannou, but he's actually technical, and he actually got slick boxing. You got an 81 reach in your division, buddy. Fuck no, I'm not taking that fight, man. Atiba Gauthier is going to first round KO this guy who I have no clue who he is, and honestly, it doesn't matter because he's gonna get the octagon jitters. I'd get the well, I'm not really an authority in that field, but name me like an elite fighter currently. Any elite fighter. Imagine Israel Adesanya, his first fight in the UFC would have been against Atiba Gauthier. He might have been whooped. Just because your first fight even if you're a top tier heavyweight, middleweight or something like that, at this point in your career, you build into one. If your first fight is against a world beater like that, well, someone who has a world beater looks like this guy, you know, this is I don't know, I'm not giving this guy any chance to beat Atiba Gauthier. Now, on to the serious business. We're on the main card. The main card opener is Abus Magomedov against Joe Pyfer, which is a very cool matchup, in which I'm going to pick Joe Pyfer. I think he has gas tank issues, but he is better on the gas than Abus. I think Abus isn't going to be able to impose as well on Joe Pyfer. I think Joe Pyfer's grappling is very, very underrated and a tool that he doesn't use because he's a bit slow, Joe Pyfer. That's the thing. He's like he has phenomenal jiu-jitsu. Didn't he submit Gerard Mearshart in a grappling match or something like that? Yeah, we have to put respect. He has good grappling. He trains with Sean Brady. He's very dense. He's a dense welterweight. He walks around like in the 200 range. He's gonna be giving him good looks and good on the ground. It's not someone that he'd be able to throw around in sparring, so it's kind of like a good match. And I just feel like his grappling is going to be way slicker than Abus. I think he's going to be very solid when it comes to the defensive grappling, although that's not really something we've seen him do much. I think he's going to be very, very fine defending Abus if Abus tries to grapple with him. And I think if Abus started grappling with him and he doesn't find any success, and then he has to eat them Joe Pyfer ends, I don't think I think that's a recipe for disaster for him. And I think Joe Pyfer is more gritty, stronger, better grappler than Abus Magomedov, and I'm going to pick him to win. Do it for America. All right, Josh Emmett versus Youssef Zalal, another American fighter. Okay, so we got Youssef Zalal. Well, for sure I'm picking Youssef Zalal. I like Josh Emmett's stopping ability. The thing is that he's going to be 39 years old. He lost to Lerone in a 5-round fight where Josh Emmett doesn't take crazy risks. If that guy jabs you and he's hitting you, you just reset and all of that. He's not going to be a guy that's going to impose his will, where a slick striker like Youssef Zalal is going to have any problem. He's going to have a reach advantage. He's going to have a fairly solid height advantage as well. Yeah, I'm going to pick Youssef Zalal. Youssef Zalal to beat him in a decision comfortably. I think third round could be problematic for him, because in the third round against Cater, he didn't do much. I feel like if Josh Emmett decides fucking and he tries to close the distance, throws them overhand, maybe he can catch him, but that would be stupid for me to pick Josh Emmett over Zalal for that. And so I think Youssef Zalal is a lock in this one. Next one. Now we're getting to the crazy matchups. So we have Yuri Prochazka against Khalil Roundtree. I hope this is the fight for the next title shot. I know Olberg just beat Reyes, but Reyes is number 7. You know, when you look back at his, like, the way that he lost to Olberg and everything, getting a title shot off the corpse of Reyes, which I know he was on a 3-5 win streak, but Anthony Smith doesn't count as a win. Dustin Jacoby isn't ranked, doesn't count as a ranked win either. And then you have Nikita Krylov, who's coming off 2 years off. And the way that he beat him was by first round KO while he was like adjusting to the octagon. Like, you know, it's kind of like you have to give it to Yuri or Khalil. And I think it's going to be Yuri. I think Khalil is very good. I think he's gotten better with his boxing. He has good leg kicks. I think he's going to hurt Yuri when it comes to the leg kicks. I just think, you know, Yuri has a solid size, not size, he doesn't have a size advantage. He has a big reach advantage, somewhat big reach advantage. I feel like he lasts much longer in that ring, when he in that octagon. When he's in the second, third round, you know, when they push that crazy pace against him. First off, if you push a crazy pace on Yuri, you can't walk Yuri down. It is an impossible feat to do. No one in the history of the sport, inside of the UFC, I've never seen this fight outside the UFC. Within the UFC, no one ever will, in any way, shape, or form, walk down Yuri, okay? Yuri is unwalk downable. If you walk down and he hits you with a right hand, you're going down. Especially if you walk into it. This is a crazy amount of power that this guy has. I'm going to pick Yuri to beat Khalil. I think Khalil is going to destroy him in the first, though. I think first round is going to be brutal. People are going to be like, oh, okay, this is one of those. And then Yuri's going to hit him with a shot in the second. You're going to be like, oh, and maybe he might finish him in the third. But he's lucky that Khalil is extremely lucky that this isn't going to be a 5-rounder. Extremely lucky. Yeah. But this is it for me. Now, Merab versus Corey Sandhagen. I think Corey Sandhagen's chances are underrated. My thing is that we know for a fact Corey isn't going to be flying kneeing and stuff. He might hit one at a certain point, but it's gonna be like one of those technical flying knee if he does, because he says it's gonna be all about Merab having to get him off him. If Corey engages in grappling with Merab, I think he's probably gonna get reversed and everything. I think Merab is gonna have a solid strength advantage on him. Corey has a phenomenal gas tank. The thing is that it's impossible to sustain that pace with Merab. Merab is going to make the fight so crazy that even if you have easy 5-round gas and all of that, he's going to take over within the fight. I think this is Merab for sure. Merab for sure is winning this. He's disadvantaged everywhere except the cardio. And in terms of physicality, and he has a less reach, but he's going to be so much physically stronger than Corey. This to the point where it was so much physically stronger than Sean, who's a similar frame to Corey. I wouldn't say Sean's as strong as Corey, not at all. But even Peter Yan is definitely, I would say Peter Yan is stronger than Corey Sandhagen. I would feel very comfortable saying that. I think Merab was physically so much stronger than Peter Yan when they fought, where it showed in that fight. And I think this is going to show in this one as well. He's going to be able to hold him against the cage. Once he gets a takedown, he has great control. And now he has a submission threat, so you have to be careful. And he has volume for days, and he shoots takedown, and Corey's going to have to be defending. I see this being a Merab win. Fairly easy Merab win. But I think Corey's chances are somewhat underrated because he has good volume and everything, but sometimes I don't know if this is going to be Peakers and test tube Corey. If this is that, Merab 50-45. If not, I think Corey can drag a fight out of it. Maybe like a 48-47 kind of score I see. I see Merab struggling a bit, but winning in the end. That's what I see. Now, the people's main event and the actual main event, Magomed against Poatan. I'm picking Ank. I'm going to pick Ank. I think Ank's ends are way faster. I think Pereira is very good, but I respect the layoff, but the thing is that you can't lay off when you're like 38, 39 year olds. You know, you're way too old at that point. He was injured, so obviously that's what he had to do, but I don't think he's going to show up better than he has before. And it's not clear to me that he's going to be... I think his ability to strike with Ank when it comes to the pure hand speed, now with the kicks and everything, he might be able to show some volume. I just think Ank's going to be faster. I think, and if Pereira decides that he takes chances, he might very well KO Ank, but he might also get put out cold. And I feel like once Ank touches him with a solid 1-2, maybe like wobbles him a bit or just rocks him slightly, he's going to be like, okay, I can't be putting myself in harm's way like that. So I'm going to pick Ank. With that being... And also I think that... Well, I also think that if Ank sees that in the first fight he didn't have success with the takedowns, I think that he's going to have some problem if he decides to just not use the wrestling at all. I think he's going to have to shoot, make Pereira think about it, get hesitant with the hands, not be too carefree, and then I think he's going to be able to do well. So I feel I'm going to pick Ank. So I haven't been doing good on these cards, so maybe if you do the reverse of everything that I've done, you're probably going to be winning on your bets. Because I went 4-7 in the last one, and the other one before that I picked Gene Silva to win, and it was an horrible card for me as well in terms of picks. So let's see how I do on this one. I think this one's going to be better though for me. Yeah, so this is it. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, comment your opinion on the card, especially the main cards, the other fight. Unless you have like a fight that you care about. Yeah, it's not too eventful here. I mean, Ateba Gaudier is going to be cool, but I just mean no one's like, hey man, I'm thinking Tristan Vine's going to beat him. No one is going to be thinking that, so... But yeah, main card fights or any fights and you want to give your opinion, do it in the comments. I'll be replying. So thank you for your time, and until next time.